Hello everyone, welcome back to the For Real News Desk. Before we get started on the stories today, just wanted to let you know that we've got a live stream coming up on Sunday, and it's a very special live stream because we're going to talk about giving away the first $100 that we've made on YouTube. So if you can be there, it would be great to see you. We'll put a link in the description of this video to the live stream so that you can see, and we've also got a poll out. You can still vote if you want to have a say in which of the two charities in Siem Reap gets the money. You can do that, and we'll put a link to that below as well. So you probably know from watching other videos and from news in your own country that Phnom Penh is currently in a world of pain in terms of COVID cases. At the moment, the numbers for today haven't been released, and it's nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's quite strange given that that usually happens sort of at 8 o'clock in the morning. There is a note saying that we should expect case numbers to be 800 or higher for the day preceding, which is really big for Cambodia. So these are still linked to the February 20 incident, and it doesn't seem like that infection or that community transmission case is slowing down at all. Phnom Penh has been divided into 3 different zones. So they've got the red zone, then they've got a dark yellow zone, and a yellow zone, and people are allowed to do different things or have different restrictions depending on which of those zones they find themselves in. So people in the red zones have to wait for food to be delivered. They can't even use their own private food delivery services. They have to wait for government to drop food off. So that started happening. It was a little bit messy when it was first announced, but I think it's starting to roll out now. They're also starting to vaccinate on a large scale people that are in the red zone, and then they'll roll that out to the dark yellow and the yellow zones as well. So I guess that has implications. There are a lot of vaccines coming into Cambodia, so another 400,000 came in from China today, but because the hotspot is Phnom Penh, they need to work on getting the people there vaccinated to slow down that community transmission case. So we might not see vaccinations in the province for quite some time yet. So we're happy to just sit tight and wait for that to happen. There's some breaking news of a new case in Siem Reap just now. So a man who was from Kampong Tom province came to Siem Reap because he was unwell, came to the provincial hospital, and the doctors did a quick test, a rapid test, on April the 26th, and he was found positive, and some of the buildings at the hospital have now been shut down. They've tested another 200 people that might have had contact with him, and all of those are so far negative, so we're hoping that that's not going to spread any further than that one person. Like you, we've been watching the situation in India unfold, and Phnom Penh has just announced that anyone who's been in India in the past 3 weeks will be barred from entering Cambodia. So I can imagine that 3 weeks will be extended because I can't see the situation in India improving in 3 weeks' time. But we hope for the best, and we'll just have to wait and see with that one. On the flip side of that, there was another article that said the kingdom may drop quarantine for vaccinated tourists in the 4th quarter of this year. So that's kind of almost in direct opposition to what they've done with India. So it says the Ministry of Tourism will work with the Ministry of Health to evaluate the feasibility of international tourists from low-risk countries and territories who have been fully vaccinated against COVID to enter the kingdom with little or no quarantine stay. I guess they're looking at replicating what Thailand is intending to do in July. I guess they'll have a few months to kind of watch what's happening over there and see if it would be effective here. I'm not sure. I don't know whether that's the way to go or not. It seems a little ambitious with things as they are. And given that there's still so much COVID in Phnom Penh, you'd have to wonder if people are going to want to travel there in the first place. But I guess it's good that those conversations are happening so that when the time is right, they'll be poised to be able to open the borders. But that would also mean that they'd have to re-establish tourist visas, which are, as you know, not possible at the moment. So there's a lot of things that would have to happen in order to make that possible. Angkor Wat and the other temples of Angkor have been closed as part of the COVID prevention decisions. And that kind of relates to the next story, which is about some Chinese and Vietnamese border hoppers that were caught in Bavet. So 112 Chinese and Vietnamese people were caught. And it says that they were caught because they had heard that the casinos were about to reopen, so they crossed back into Cambodia from Vietnam because they intended to work at the casino there. So there's a lot of illegal border crossing going on, I would think. Another strange story, there's an article about a drunk Chinese man on an air blade hits a police barricade. Now, the fact that they thought it was important to put the kind of motorbike into the heading is pretty funny, I think. I guess if it was a Honda Dream, it wouldn't have rated a mention, but because it's an air blade, definitely needs to be talked about. So that was in Sihanoukville. And the article says, a drunk Chinese man on a motorbike crashed into a barricade that blocked the street in Sihanoukville and continued to flee on foot, but was finally arrested by authorities at almost 10 p.m. And that was 2 days ago. I guess he left his air blade at the scene because he had to leave on foot. In addition to the vaccines that China's been donating to Cambodia, there's also an article today saying they've donated 88,000 boxes of traditional medicine to combat COVID-19. Now, this stuff is called Lianhua Qingwen capsules, as far I probably haven't pronounced that properly, but it's called a traditional medicine. But when I Googled it, as far as I can tell, it's just like a tablet you'd take when you normally have the flu. So probably some sort of dose of paracetamol and a few other things. Not particularly effective in the case of COVID, but a donation nonetheless. Interesting thing about this article is that in the Khmer Times, it has 25 huge photos of the handover of the tablets and various people shaking hands and standing around in front of large boxes of medications. And the actual article about what happened is 4 lines long. So I guess it was more about the photo opportunity than it was about the 88,000 boxes of the medication. Moving on to a really sad story, a Brazilian woman was killed in Kampot in a hit and run. She was only 32 years of age. I think she'd been in Cambodia for a little bit less than a year. Yeah, just incredibly sad. They rushed her to the hospital, but she died before they could do anything to save her. I feel for the family because obviously the first thing that they would probably want to do is come over here and get her to take her back home, but that's going to be really difficult with the situation with COVID as it is at the moment. You really feel for people when that kind of stuff happens in these circumstances. Good news in Kampot though, our our curfew is being lifted as of tonight, so I think we're okay to stay out beyond 8 p.m. if we want to, but unfortunately the sale of alcohol is not back in effect until tomorrow, so we may be able to stay out, but we won't be able to have any drinks while we are out and about. So that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a look at all the links we have in our description down below. You'll find links to other people YouTubing in Cambodia, and you'll find links to other people that we follow and find entertaining ourselves. You'll find links to the live stream and to the poll to decide where that money goes that we've raised on YouTube so far. So lots of good stuff down there. Check it out, and we'll see you in the next one. Or hopefully we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
Kevin's guest house. Best guest house all of Kampot. What's that down there? So fun.